Hello everyone and welcome here to Musicians Edition for another piano video. In this one we're going to be doing the Toreador March, also the Five Nights at Freddy kind of theme that for that video game and the movie that just came out recently. So if you're a fan of Freddy, you've probably heard this song. So let's go ahead and dive into this one. Okay, so there it is. You can hear how the song goes all together. So that is what we're going to be building up to. So you can hear that recognizable melody, the do 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 do. So that's what we're going to be playing through. We will do everything I just did there, which is the right and left hand together. If you're more of a beginner and you just want to do this melody, which is the right hand, we're going to start with that too. We will have a sheet we're going to follow along with, so if you are practicing reading your sheet music, you're going to get a chance to practice it here. If that's not a priority of yours, you can always just follow along with how I play this as well too, and you'll get the hang of it just as easily here. So here is our sheet. So we've got a lot with the right hand. The left hand's not going to be too complicated, so we can get through this as a more beginner to intermediate piece here. And we will start with the right hand of all this recognizable stuff. We'll do the right hand up to about here, and then we'll come back and do the left hand with that part as well too. And then we're going to continue with everything after that with left and right, because there's parts down here you can see where it's going to kind of bounce back and forth with left and right hand. And I think it just sounds best to do those together instead of separate them, because it helps you with the timing if you can do them both at the same time here. But we're going to start with this main part, the part you are going to recognize if you know this song and know Five Nights at Freddy. And that's going to be this right hand melody that's going to start us off. So here's our sheet for this part. You can see we're in 4/4. Our key signature, we have 1 flat. That is a B flat. So anytime we read a B on the treble or bass clef, we're going to say that that's going to be played as a B flat, unless indicated otherwise. And you can see we do have a natural symbol right there on a B. We're going to play 1 B natural when we hit that one. But otherwise, every B we're going to read is going to be played as a flat. Every other key we're going to be playing as just a white key. So let's start it off. We have our first note right there. It's a quarter note, and that is the treble clef. That's F, A, C right there. So we're going to find C on our keyboard. That's our first one. We're going to play it as a quarter note, and then we're going to go up 1 note. That's to D. Back down 1 note. Okay, back to C, and you can count it down there. We're going down 2 notes. That's down a third to A. That's that first part. Okay. With another couple extra A's coming up there, but that's it right there. C, D, C, A, A. That's the first measure. Okay? And next up, we're starting off the second measure with another A. It's the same note as the one we just played previously. And then look at that sheet. We're just going down 1 note, puts us at G, back up 1 note to A, up 1 more note, and this is our B that's going to be played as the flat, so B flat, and back down 1 note. So just a little A, down, up, back down to A. Okay, so all together here, we can put this together and see how that sounds. There it is. So it's not just all 8ths in a row there. It has this dotted 8th and then a 16th note to give it that little swing. That's how the sheet has it written here. So you can hear that one more time. Okay, so the new part we just did was A, G, A, B flat, and A. And that's it. We hold this last A for a half note. We're going to let it ring out for a little while. Then we're going to go on to our next part. All right, if it does help you to see all of the note names, you can see them written on there for that part we did just do. We're going to go ahead and move on to this next part. So finishing off, we held off on that A for a while, and so you can look ahead at the next note and see we're going up 1 note from the space to the line there. Up 1 note is going to put us at B. Remember, all B's are played as a flat, so this is going to be B flat. And then we're going to come down 2 notes, so let's count 2 down, A to G. And then we're going to go back up here, up 1, 2, 3 notes. That's a 4th up to C. And then back a 3rd down to A. Okay, so let's start it off at B flat, G, C, A. Okay, B flat, G, C, A. Okay? Okay, and you can see those notes written up there for you now. So B flat, G, C, A. Let's go ahead and put this whole thing together from the beginning. We start off with that C, D, C. Here's our new part. And that's where we're at. We're going to hold this A again. It's a half note, so it's going to take up quite a lot of space here before we go on to the next one. And the next one is going to be, let's see, from that A we just had here, we're jumping down 2 notes, space to the space. That's down a third. So count 2 notes down. From F we got G, or sorry, from A we got G and then F. Okay, so F is our next note there. And from F we're going to go down a third, so count 2 notes down. The line, then the space to D. We jump back up a fourth to G. We can count that up 1, 2, 3 notes to G. And jump of a fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4 down to C. Okay, so some intervals there. F, D, G, C, all together. Okay, so that's that. F, D, G, C. Again, we got the dotted 8th note into that 16th. We have that swing there. Okay, and let's go ahead and do all this together now. So from the beginning. New part. There it is. F, D, G, C. Go ahead and practice this if you don't have it down. You can see all the notes that we've played so far. You can match it up with my videos of what I just played there. Next up, okay, we have a half note that's going to get held for a while. From this C, it's up a fifth. Okay, so really that would be like from thumb to pinky. Right there, that's going to put us back on G as our first note. All right, we've got a tie here connecting it to this next G, so this is not a note we actually play, but it's saying this is going to get the value of a half note plus an 8th note. So it's going to get held for. And then we're going to come back in just for these last 3 8th notes here, which is going to be D, C, B flat, just going down one at a time, D, C, B, which is now flat, B flat. And let's go ahead and look ahead to the next one so we can connect this all together here. From that B flat, we're going down 1 more to A, then look down 1 more to G, back up to A, back up to B flat, up 1 more, and then down to A to finish it off. So all together here we started at D, C, B flat, A, G, A, B flat, A. That's everything all together, and we'll figure out the timing of this now. So we hold that G. So here's about what we're looking for with this timing. We have that half note plus an 8th note, so it's going to play through the 3 there, and we're actually going to come in on the 3.5 to play 3.5, 4, 4.5, and then that'll lead us into the next one. So if you know this melody, it'll come together pretty easily. It's going to sound like this all together. Okay, and that's it. So let's go ahead and do that one more time. That was again G, D, C, B flat, A, G, A, B flat, A. All right, so here is everything written out. So all the way from the top, we start off with that C, D, C. I'm going to play this nice and slow all the way through to what we've done so far. And that's everything. Okay, so that is all these parts that we've done so far. We're going to go ahead and add one more of just the right hand to finish this off. If you're having trouble with any of these parts, make sure you go ahead and practice it. Go back to any of those sections you might be struggling with so you can see how I broke them down. Connect it all together by just matching it up with that clip I just played there. And let's go ahead and do this last part. So we got 3 quarter notes to start this off. So that first one is going to be, let's see, that first line of the treble clef, that makes this an E. And let's see if we can figure out these other ones. With our intervals, we can count up from there. So from E, that looks like it's up 1, 2, 3 notes. So we can count from E, F, G to A. So we're gonna play E, A, A. Okay, our first accidental on here, that's a sharp symbol next to a G. That's one note below the A, the G sharp, so that puts us right here. And then look at that, we have a natural symbol, which is gonna be B natural. So instead of the B flats we've been playing, we're gonna go to B natural here. And then we're gonna finish on the high E up there. So altogether we want an E, A, G sharp, B, E at the top. And we'll get the rhythm of it down. These first three are all quarter notes. Then here comes our dotted 8th into the 16th into a whole note of the high E. So all together. Okay, you got to make that stretch with your pinky to get up to that high E pretty quick, so figure out what works best for you. You can watch me do it again here. Okay, so for me, I'm making sure my pinky does not get tied up playing this B. I want it free to move up to the high E. So you see I play A, I have index on G sharp, ring finger on B, pinky is free to move up to that high E. Right there. And that finishes up the right hand part of this that we're gonna do. Before we move on to doing combined together, let's make sure we do have all this down. So this is the great right hand beginner part for you guys. Let's go ahead and look at this sheet with all the note names on it. All right, so this is our page now. So everything from the start to what we just did here, we can see with just the right hand. And then once we get this done, we're gonna go ahead and add the left hand to it, which you can see the notes. There's not a lot of left hand notes. The biggest part is just gonna be matching these things up. So let's go ahead and do this. From the beginning, I'll play it nice and slow, then I'll play it a bit quicker so you guys can match it up with my videos here. So a bit slower. And here we go. Okay, and what you want to build up to would be full speed, which is going to be more like this one. There it is. So for those of you who just want the right hand part of this song, that's just this recognizable part, that's going to be it for that. We are now going to go ahead and do the left hand for this part that we just learned, which is not a lot. So if you're able to do this right hand, you might be able to stick around for this left hand as well too. It's just matching up where that left is going to play on top of the right. And then we're going to go ahead and do the last part of it all together with left and right hand to finish this off. All right, so we are on to the left hand. So let's start by naming some of these notes we're going to play at the beginning, and we're going to figure out where they're going to match up for us. So first note on the bass clef here. So this is going to be G, B, D, F for our first note. So we have an F for our first left hand note. That's going to be right here. The F just below middle C. So just count right down from middle C to your F. And to see how it's going to match up, you can see this is where we would play left and right hand, so you can see how far apart your hands should be. Okay, right there. Next note, same note as the one before, an F. So we play two Fs, that's easy. And then let's go ahead and name a couple of these ones so we can see how they're going to match up. We'll stop after these two here. From that F, we went up one note. One note up from F, G. From that G, we go down one note, back to F. That's it. So far we have F, F, G, F. Okay, that's the easy part. The hard part is matching this stuff up together here. And so this F is going to match up with the first C. The second F is going to match up with the third A we play there. Let's practice that first. So, first C, So they just play at the same time. And I said the third A is where we're going to press this F again. 2, 3. That's it right there. That's what we want to practice. It's the third A you're going to press down with that F again. So make sure you go ahead and practice that. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to move on. Next up is G, which is going to line up with this B flat we play here. And then F is going to match up with this A we play. So this part we can break down by itself. G with B flat. And then when we play this A, we're going to push down with the F. Okay, one more time. G with B flat. F with A. There it is. And now let's do this from the beginning to make sure we got it all down. From the start, it was the F and C. Here it is. Right there. That's what we've got so far. Let's keep on going. Okay, we got to name a couple of these other notes here so we can figure out how they're going to match up. So next note with the left hand, we're going down 2 notes from F, E, D. So this is a D. Next one we are playing is down 1 note from D, which is a C. So we have an F and a D playing at the same time, and then we finish with 2 C's playing there. So let's practice this measure by itself, starting with F. This was the F, D, G, C with the right. We're going to just play D and C here. So F and D, and then both C's. One more time. Okay, one more time. Both C's is where we finish. So now let's go back to the beginning, practice this all nice and slow here as we're getting used to it. We start off with F and C. Third time we play it again. B flat with G. F and A there. New part we just did is F and D, and both C's at the end. So figure out those finger movements for yourself. I'll go ahead and play this one more time nice and slow so you can see how I'm doing it. And go ahead and practice this as much as you need to. Here it is. Finishing on both C's. Moving on, we got a big jump from C to this next note. I know this is going to be a B because it's right below where that middle C would be, or one above that high A line. And we still are applying the rule with the flats here, so this is going to be a B flat with the left hand. Okay, and that lines up with the G right here. This is the G we hold for a long time with the right hand, so that's going to be G with B flat, the B flat just below middle C. Okay, and then we're just going to have the right hand coming in and do that part right there. And let's go ahead and keep going so we can connect this part and finish off this little part that all ties together here. One more left hand note. This is the same as our first note we played, which was F. So F lines up with A, right there. So as we're playing through with this right hand, D, C, B flat, when we get to this first A, we want to find F. So we're playing on B flat initially with that B flat and G. D, C, B flat, we get to A, we're going to go to F with the left. And that can finish it off right there. So one more time, B flat and G. Get to A, you press F. There it is. One more time all together. Figure out what finger positions work well for you. You can see what I did there. Let's go ahead and just move on to this final part and we'll tie everything together. So playing with this E we have with the right hand is an E with the left. You can see that's just one note below that F we had there down to E. So from here to here. And that E is going to be held throughout this whole time. I'm going to play it one more time at the end here with that high E we move up to with the right hand. So E together there, but it's the high E and the lower E together with this first one. So this was the right hand part of So we're just going to have this E play the first note, and this E play again on the last note. There it is. One more time. Just plays at the same time as the other E's. So that is everything now. This is what our sheet looks like with all this together here. We're going to go ahead and play this out nice and slow. This is just this beginning part, then we're going to move on to this final part here. So we started off with F and C. Let's go ahead and play this nice and slow. Take your time practicing these or connecting any of these sections. I'll go ahead and play this part out one more time, a bit quicker. All right, that is it for our first part. We're now moving on to the second one. Practice that first one as much as you need to. You can always come back to this second one later, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. All right, so we start off. The reason I want to do this left and right hand just all together is because they work really well together, and it just helps to figure out the timing. If you're using both of these, for example, see the beginning here. We have a tie from this previous E onto this one, which means we're not actually playing this note. This is just getting held through this first beat here, and we're actually coming in on the half beat right there, following this eighth note here. So what we really come in on the one with is the left hand. So that left hand note is what we're going to start it off with before we play the right afterwards. And that left hand note is a G. Okay, so right there. And the right hand stuff, let's see, we have Every Good Boy Deserves, that's a D. Remember, this first note was a tie. We're not actually playing it. It's just saying this, the length of this note is this whole one plus this one. It's going to get held through, and we actually come in and play the D. Another accidental, that's a sharp on, one note down from D, which is C sharp. Next note back right up to D, just back up one note. So that was D, C sharp, D. Okay, so all together we had that G with the left. Okay, so really that G, these come in right after as if I'm playing an eighth note at the beginning, so just after that G. Okay, and next up with the right, the big jump down, this is a fifth down from D. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for late, as if we were going from thumb to pinky. Interval's called the fifth, but really counting down 4 notes. There to G. Then we go up one note from G to A, up one more note from A to B, but we're playing it as B flat because of our key signature. So that was D, C sharp, D, come on down, G, A, B flat. Okay, so we started off with the left hand playing G. Right there. This B flat is not an eighth C, it's a quarter note, so this is going to get held out just a bit longer than these other notes were. Before we go on to that next measure. Okay, and you can see we're left hanging on that B flat. Let's see what's going to come connect us at the next spot. And again, we're starting off with the left hand, so let's figure out that note. Okay, with the left hand, this is a familiar note we've been playing. Look right above us, we have an F. And that's the F that starts us off. There's a rest here, that's an eighth rest for the right hand. So the left hand starts by itself, then the right hand comes just after like it did previously. So let's figure out what those right hand notes are. So we have the second space, that's F, A, right there for the right hand. Down 2 notes from A, that's F. Up a big gap here, that's a pretty big interval, that's a sixth. Really, if we were counting up 5 notes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to D, down one note from D to C. There it is. So we start off with F with the left hand, and we're gonna play A, F, D, C right after, while the left hand is being held down. And then immediately you can see it's gonna jump into the left hand. I'm gonna lift up with this left hand and start to play there, so let's get those notes. So another tie here with the F, so we're not actually playing this F that would be in line with this C, that's just getting held through. Next up is actually an A, that top line of the bass clef. And then look back down to the note we were just on, which is F. So A, down to F. Then back up, ooh, that's one note above middle C. One note above middle C is gonna be a D. So we're coming up pretty high with the left hand. Back down one note to middle C, that's what that middle line is. So altogether that was A, F, D, C, what we actually just played with the right hand, but an octave down. So F, A, F, D, C, A, F, D, C. A little quick there, so make sure you figure it out with your fingers there, how to play that comfortably. Make sure you do have that thumb freed up, ready to move up to that D. And then next is the right hand again to finish us off here. We're almost at the end. So right hand, we are back to F. So you see we have another eighth rest to start us off. That's where the left hand's playing. Right hand's gonna come right after. Again, all separations of an eighth all the way from this F. Just going back and forth between the right and left hand. So pretty much eighth exchange here, so F, then eighth, eighth, eighth. This has a half just because we're holding it down, but really we're back down here for more eighth, 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 back up for eighth, eighth, eighth. And then finally some quarters as we're gonna finish it off to the end here. So F down to, that's middle C right there. F, C, back up by a big jump here. That's a seventh actually, up to B, which is gonna be B flat for us. B flat, down one note to A, down one more note to G. Let's finish it off, down one more note to F. That's what we have all together here. So we have F, C, B flat, and then these are our quarters gonna get held for a bit longer. A, G, F. And what's there to finish us off? We have two notes played together here, an A and an F. And that is it for our right hand. We just need to figure out how the left hand's gonna complement us here, but let's make sure we got this right hand down first. So let's go all the way from the beginning and play this out nice and slow here with what we've done so far. Starting off with that F left hand, A, F, D, C, then A, F, D, C with the left, and then with the right we'll play that F, C, B flat, A, G, F. We're finishing it off with an A and F together. Oops, right there. All right, let's do it nice and slow. Okay, this is really tricky to get all in a row without screwing up or messing up your spacing. So let's go even slower as we talk our way through it. F, A, F, D, C, A, F, D, C, F, C up to B flat, A, G, F. A and F right there. Take that as slow as you need to get that rhythm down as much as we can. We eventually want it to be like this. We eventually want it to be like this if we are going for full speed. Something right around there. Take as much time as you need to with this. We're gonna add a couple more notes with the left hand. You can see we're missing 3 at the bottom there. That's gonna pair with the right now. And these 3 notes are, we have a low C. So we went from high C to low C there. Well, middle C really to a low C. Then back up to our familiar note with this left hand, which is F. And this is now our final sheet. we just want to make sure we know where these left hand notes are going to line up at. This C is going to get played with an A right there, F with an F, F again with this A, F. So let's make sure we know how that's going to sound. So starting off from the beginning of this part with the F here and then the A, F, D, C, let's go nice and slow to figure out where this left hand's going to come in. D, C, A, F, D, C, F, C, B flat, ooh, right here on the A, low C, G, and then we come back to F with F, and again F, right there. So let's do that one more time, connect it all together here, here it is. So, F, A, F, D, C, A, F, D, C, F, C, B flat, A with low C, G, both Fs, F with AF. To finish it off, let's do that one more time without me talking so much through it. Here it is. Practice these things separately if you need to figure out how each hand is going to move. For example, the left hand is F, and then gets ready to move to A, F, D, C, and then getting back down to the low C to play with that A that we had here, and then F, right there. So practice those movements individually, focus on one hand especially if that's the one you're struggling with to get it to the point it needs to be, and again, we're shooting for this. Okay, and let's just add in that one part we did prior to connect everything together here for the second part, and then we'll do this whole song together. We're almost through, guys, so let's go ahead and do it. G with that D, C sharp, D. That's going to lead us right into this next part, so it's a lot happening pretty quick. This is definitely the hardest part to this song, so don't get discouraged. Let's go nice and slow. So we have that G with D, C sharp, D, and then we had G, A, B. Left hand's going to come to F now, and now just this part we've been working on. A, F, D, C, and then we had F, C, B flat, A with C, both Fs, A and F with F. Okay, one more time here. All right, so let's put this whole thing together. Take as much time to practice where you need to. Let's go ahead and go from the beginning. I'll go pretty slow here so you can try to follow along, and then I'll do one more full speed run through this and we're done. And that is it. I'll do one more full run through this, a bit quicker for full speed so you can see what you want to try to get yourself to. Of course, my best strategy with this is just start off slowly, get your finger movements and those placements down so you can start to establish some muscle memory. Make sure you know those connections of where does the left play along with the right, and that's always what I use to help me out. So that's why I drew these lines on this sheet, showed you the spots where the left comes in first, because it's really important to know those things. And let's go ahead and do this. Thank you all for joining me here for this Five Nights at Freddy Toreador March. This is an actual classical song that was just kind of adapted for this video game / movie that just came out recently, so it's kind of got a lot of hype going for it. A lot of familiar to kids who know Freddy, which he has become so popular, so hopefully you or you have a little one who's very interested in learning this song. It's a fun one for me, even being an adult. It's very catchy. A lot of my kids request this one, so it gets stuck in my head pretty frequently. It's a fun one to learn. This is a nice beginner towards intermediate to get you there to practice left and right hand working together. Have fun playing, and we'll see you next time.